This is the journey to One Africa.
I have my brother, the architect, here as well, Kim, and I want to hear what he has to say. My brother, the architect, how are you, man? Welcome to the farm.
I'm doing good, but I'm doing good. How about you?
Man, yeah, you know, it's it is what it is, man. It is what it is in this side. So yeah, I just wanna hear your thoughts, man, about what is happening there. And if you got a chance to hear, his speech as well, what do you have to say about that as well?
Jeez, man, this is really heavy, man. I've been I remember last time we spoke, it's like a month or two ago, and I told you I'm so disappointed in Ruto. I knew that I wasn't the only one who felt that way because
Mm.
ever since Ruto, the ink dried on the page where they say Ruto is the president, we haven't heard anything about Pan-Africanism since then from him.
Mm.
And I think that we also have to start to brainstorm and try to figure out what's happening to our African leaders because this behavior does not look normal. Like what are the Europeans doing to them? Are they cloning
Mm.
them? Are they putting chips in their head? Are they threatening their families? What are they doing? Because it just seemed to me like there is not one powerful elected African leader on the African continent right now. All the powerful leaders seems like they had to take power instead of it being through democracy, to say. And man, those images coming out of Kenya is really sad right now. People like dead in the street. I saw a guy with literally his brain was in the street,
Yeah, man.
literally. Like, and then Ruto is gonna come on and talk and say that these people are terrorists. They're terrorizing the place. They're organized criminals and those things. But you know, while I was thinking about all of this stuff, I was thinking to myself, these leaders are economic terrorists,
Yeah.
because what Ruto is doing to the people of Kenya, that's economic terrorism. Like, how can you tax people on their ancestral land where people who fought for their freedom is buried? How can you tax women for pads? How can you tax them for baby pampers? Like, how can you raise the tax on such things that people need like that because of the IMF and the World Bank? That's economic terrorism. And I don't know, because I see it like revolutions are not just one, they have to be maintained. If a revolution is not maintained, it will fall back, it will lose its momentum and fall back to the same exact thing you're going to right now. That's why a lot of African countries haven't really gotten their freedom yet, because the freedom that was hard won through blood was given back on paper.
Yeah.
That was given back to the people who you won your freedom from on paper. And Ruto is a perfect example of this, because you can't tell me you're an independent leader of an African country and you come over here in America, come play playboy, to come sit in this president that don't even have no brain chair, to act like you're some kind of little playboy for them, and then all of a sudden you leave here becoming the major non-NATO ally in a time where the consciousness of the African people and what these people have done to our leaders and our children, our cousins, our uncles, our brothers, our sisters. That's a shame. That's a shame. And I'm really surprised and proud of the Kenyan people too. I'm really surprised that they rose up, because to be honest, a lot of people thought that they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that because
Yeah.
me, you, and a lot of people know that the British still have military bases in Kenya. They
Yeah.
didn't left They didn't left. This, even though the Mama run them, they didn't left. And this is what I'm trying. This is what I'm trying to say. If your revolution is not maintained, you will lose it. Don't be surprised if there are British soldiers in Kenya right now that are blowing the brains out of these young people on the street. You know. Usually what they do, they bring people from different cities and so on, people who not too familiar with the locals, because they don't want them to show any emotions towards the people themselves. So they will bring people from other areas, other cities, or even bring people from the military bases themselves in Kenya who have no connection with the people, because they don't want them to feel anywhere when they start killing them. You check? So my thing is, like, I'm not a Muslim, right? And I love Muslim people. And the reason why I said that is because we have to start to look at other places in the world who has won and maintained their revolutions, like the Iranians. See, these leaders in Africa, they do not have, there's not a base back home that they're accountable to. So when they go out of Africa to make deals, they're coming back to Africa to tell the African people what the Europeans say, instead of them go telling the Europeans what the African people say.
Exactly. Right on point. Wow.
And this is a serious problem we have in Africa, that there is no resistant base in the home country. So when these leaders go out of Africa, they go out of Africa as salesmen. They're going to sell everything. They go to Africa as salesmen. They're even selling their own people, literally. Ethiopia, Kenya, Malawi, they all send thousands of people into Israel and Saudi Arabia, where they're raping the Ethiopian women them constantly and throwing them off the balcony and taking their passport and stuff like this, treating them less than human beings. They instead of the Arabs and the Europeans coming to Africa and taking slaves, these leaders are going out there and sending people into slavery. So I like the Iranian way of doing things, because even when a leader go out there, you still have to answer to the supreme leader when you come back home, to say, what did you go out there to do? Like, are you you know what I mean? Are you trying to sell our country, or are you trying to build our country? Are you trying to import this so-called democracy? Are you trying to go out there to express to people what true democracy is and what the voice of the people is? These leaders these leaders in Africa, they're regional managers. They're not leaders. They're here to manage these little carved up spaces that the Europeans made in Africa. I mean, they even talk about it when they talk about NATO. They call North Africa NATO's southern flank, as if the African people don't have an identity for themselves. We don't have no interests. We don't have no feelings. We don't have no emotions. We don't have no culture. To them, we don't have anything. We're just supposed to be here to serve. And if you're not serving them, then you're not serving any purpose. So they have a right to kill you or to get rid of you. That's how I see it. And I really look forward to a time when there is a strong resistance base in Africa, so that when these leaders go out, if they make bad deals, they're even scared to come back home. They're not supposed to be allowed to come back home when they go out there and sell people like that. Ruto is selling Kenyans like cloth, like literally. And whatever plan he think he has about the IMF, whatever, we don't owe the IMF nothing. Okay, the IMF owe us. They even owe us in blood. Because they're the ones who are attacking our leaders and assassinating them and stuff like this. They're the ones who are behind all this stuff. Recently, the Malian transitional president said that when they overtook the government, the French started pumping fake CFA francs into the economy. That's economic terrorism. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I really hope to live to see the day that Africa erase its borders and we can get rid of these regional managers. And I don't mean in a violent way, but sometimes it comes to that because I believe economic terrorism and violent terrorism is the same type of terrorism because poverty kills more people in Africa than tribal wars. That's my thoughts. What do you think?
And that's actually what is happening in Kenya, what is happening in Tanzania, what is happening in so many countries in Africa. The only thing they do, I shared this before, that one of the very powerful things Magufuli did when he was a president, because right now what is happening, you tax everything, even basic, you increase tax in even in the common mwananchi. How do you want them to live? How do you want to expect them to live? Like today, you find this tax organization, whatever, they hold on to this small fish people who are selling water on the street. They have their little frame, they're selling clothes and they're selling food. But you know what Magufuli did when he was president? He went after big fish. He went after those foreign companies that are doing mining here that they've not been paying tax for over 20, 30, 40 years. He went over them. And that's why all of a sudden the country had a lot of money, because he went over them. He went over leaders. He went over all these guys who were actually running the economy. He went after them to take tax away from them for the sake of common mwananchi. But today you go after common mwananchi. It surprised me if you go after common mwananchi and then at the same time your government is full of corruption. Second, you overspend money all the time. We spoke here about the trip that went to United States a couple days ago. The flight that it was borrowed over $1 million US. It was one or something like that. Man, this is a lot of money. And then at the same time, you come back to your country to impose more taxes on even basic needs or things that they're really needed for our women and our people, and then you do that, man. So what do you expect people to react? At least let us see the change. I mean, if you tax more, then at least do more for people to see that, okay, you know what? We actually see what you're doing with the country. So we understand people. That's what Africans need. But nothing has been done, and then you tax more people. You take money away from them. You're rich. You can handle yourself. You can do whatever you want to do anytime because you have a lot of money. You're rich and you leave the country. What about the common mwananchi? And then you come, you give speech, you address nothing about that. Is the leadership we have. My brother.
Because that's sorry, go ahead.
No. Please go ahead. I
say they don't care about the African people. Like if you even look at the former president of Senegal, this man luckily was voted out instead of being overthrown. And you know what this man went to do after? This man gonna go work for the French government now. France. He's working for the French government now after he finished being the president of Senegal. Tell me if that doesn't sound suspicious to you. How does the president of a former country end up going to work for the former imperialist country after he loses his position? That means he was working for them all the time, right? And but trust me, people like they don't understand our generation, man. They don't understand our generation. I'm telling you that for sure, because it's like back home they say pressure bust pipe and make water go uphill. So the pressure busting the pipe in Kenya right now. That's why even after 3 people got killed, they're still out on the street. I mean, probably not 3, like 10 people, but probably even more now that we haven't heard about. People dying, but people still out there because people are frustrated. They're frustrated. They're being terrorized by these international institutions. Right now, it's those Bretton Woods institutions that own Africa right now. If you look at the only places that doesn't owe the IMF anything is, I think, it's Eritrea and 2 other countries. Rather than that, they own Africa, man. They own Africa. So as I told you, they need to be. First, they need to be a revolution. Then they need to be the maintenance of that revolution. Revolution never ends. That's the thing about revolution. It never ends. Because from the time it ends, then you lose everything you gain, no matter how long it took.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's what I gotta say, brother. I'll leave this space for some other people to come to, and man, stay safe out there, man. All your Kenyans and all the brethren who in Africa, we would love to be in Africa as well, but as you guys know, it's very hard for Africans outside of Africa to get into Africa, and to move around Africa. It's more easy for the Europeans to do that. But yeah, until they delete those borders and they form some kind of real union, not this garbage African Union thing they have going on here. Nothing will change. Nothing will change. Kwame Nkrumah turning in his grave right now.
Yeah, my brother, I appreciate you, Architect. You shared a lot of facts here, and I appreciate you, man, for your voice. Thank you so much.
No problem, brother. We'll talk soon.
All right. Appreciate it. All right, so I'm gonna have my last guest for today as well. Trash Can Animals from San Francisco. How are you? Yeah, I think I will hear first to mention if it is Madam. Or how are you? Welcome to the show.
How you doing, brother?
Oh yes, my brother. Yeah, man. I would like to hear. I would like to hear your voice, man, on the speech that President Ruto gave, and your opinion on the situation that is happening in Kenya. Yeah, welcome, and thank you for waiting.
Oh, no problem. I'm gonna start off with some facts. I'm a stolen African stuck behind the wrong side of the barricade right now. I've been in the process of trying to get back home to the continent for the past 2 years, and I'm getting close. Kenya, I'm gonna get to the speech question, but Kenya was one place I was looking at. Even though I know that on my mother's side, I'm Nigerian, I'm Yoruba and Hausa, and on my father's side, I'm Gabonese and I'm from the Gola people. I know that. But look at the governments. So I'm trying to find a place to land. So I said, well, maybe Kenya. You know, I come from a technology place. And Kenya, Ruto, is just Bill Clinton with a tan. It's sad. I heard part of his speech. Everyone always let's deal with some facts. Everyone wants peace. No place on this world was ever settled by peace. No border was drawn with peace. If you fall for that, you'll get a permit to protest in a soccer stadium 20 miles from where you need to be. That's not that does nothing for you. The reason this generation from 25 years old to a 13-year-old, you have nothing in the future. You know that now. The generations before you have taken everything. And colonization has taken everything from them. So the ones that are bubble to the top of this dirty water are trying to hold on for their family. Ruto's working for Ruto. And the cabinet below him, they're working for their families. Everyone's just trying to grab a piece of floating wood as the ship sinks. And they are managers. Now, look at Burkina Faso, look at Mali, look at Nigeria. I've been watching this continent for the past 2 years on YouTube. My sleep schedule has me watching everything. I don't watch any local news. My local news is from my home, the continent. I watch KTV. I watch Morning Rising in Nigeria. I watch all the channels I can to figure out what the hell is going on, because we don't get it here. So again, with his speech was nothing. He was told to be a strong man. Well, the strong man came and got a bag. He got a bag when he came here. Mark my words, he has an account somewhere waiting for him. And that account is not, it's in Europe. It's probably in Zurich. It's waiting for him. Strategically, I want young people to know, embassies are nothing but an outlet for spies. That's what they're there for. When you have an embassy, why can't the embassy be a 2-level building? Why does the embassy have to be a compound? That embassy is an outlet to see what's going on in your country.
Yeah.
An embassy is a nice base with better toilets. That's it. These bases have to go. They have to go. The borders have to go. Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali have the right idea. I wouldn't be surprised if those countries merge after a while, and there's one country. That's the problem. 25-year-olds to 13-year-olds, there's nothing for you. So when you burn something down, it's not yours to begin with. South Africa is going to have an issue. Look at South Africa. Cyril is just another manager. He's willing to work with literally the DA party. The DA party can't wait to get that country back. Let the DA party go in collaborations with him. Cyril Ramaphosa will be found guilty of some kind of corruption, of course. He'll be gone, and the new president will be a DA president. If I ever see a white president in charge of South Africa again, it's over. The country will burn. If we can't live in peace, then burn it. And that's a bad thing to say. I'm sorry. I hope the channel doesn't get struck. But if you look at history, when the Romans wanted something, they took it by force. If England's been all over this world. England has been a virus. So the money that's owed by the IMF to the IMF, have England pay the bill. They stole everything else. They have your grandfather or your grandmother's head in a museum. All the jewels, all the gold. They have not one gold mine in that little dirty country. I'm sorry, not the country, the government. They have no gold mines there. They have no cocoa there. They have no sugar there. It's cold and it's wet. That's it. That family plays dress up and people believe it. They have your money. Send the bill to them. Send the bill to England. England has a lot to pay for. Look at your map. They're surrounding everything and everybody. You have Israel. That's nothing but the U.S. You have Rwanda. They're going to become the new open-air jail. Send us all the people you don't want, and we'll house them in camps. I don't have quotes up. You can put you can put another name in front of that camp, a concentration camp to house the people we don't want to see. Policing is a European invention. Africans never had police; they had communities. Policing is European. Europeans know it's class. It's not about race. There's no such thing as race. We're all humans. No, everyone. We have more melanin. The sun loves us. They have less melanin. The sun will kill them. They still have a little melanin. They have freckles. We're a human race. It's class. Yeah. It's about 20 people that own everything in this world. 20 families that own everything in this world. That's the problem. And I want the young people. I'm too old to be out there with you. We need to support them. Give them water. Give them shelter, help them get away. The soldiers who are shooting, you live in the same communities. like the architect said, they might come from different places, but if they're taxing you, you're not making more than what the average person on the street is selling water. So they're fighting for you and you're shooting them. So we have to unite. You know, it's the same story over and over again. All these drawn up borders, and like I should have told you, I'm a stolen African, and I should have told you that from the present day borders, that's where I'm from. The present day borders. But I'm still a Yoruba, I'm still a Hausa, and I'm still a Gola. I don't care what the name of the country is.
Yeah.
And I am coming home, and more people like me are coming home.
Yeah.
And again, everybody, we just have to, these leaders have to go away. They have to stop, you know, they think, you know, Gucci is what you're supposed to be wearing when you should have on your cloth that your mama made in the community. Is those brands are nothing but brands that they put on us when we got here. Stop wearing brands. It's a lot going on with us. And the young people see it, because young people are always the future. You see a child, you see children crossing the street, younger than you, move out. They're your future. That's the way we should respect it. Yes, listen to elders, but children are the future, no matter what. You decided that building doesn't need to stand anymore, it's gone, right? I'm sorry, but it's gone. I don't want to see nobody get shot. People don't listen to nice stuff. People don't listen to reason. People don't understand that if you're taxing bread, which is the most solemn thing anyone in this world can have, bread and water, you can't get that now? So, yeah, I'm angry. I'm coming home with the same anger. I'll be there soon. That's it.
Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate you so much for your voice, and welcome home. You're right here.